I heard Chris laugh. Mike Brown, did he give a discount to the Sacramento Kings? I don't know. With bonuses, he can get up to around $10 million. Looks like he's going to be around, 7-ish, 8-ish, whatever. But it's something he was obviously happy enough with to accept and sign. I think I think both sides are getting it. Look, Mike Brown's getting the raise he deserved. And by the way, I have seen a couple people like, you signed the contract and you honor the contract. It's like, no, I get it, but this is an extension. Like they're renegotiating and extending the contract. He's fully within his rights to do that. I'm glad the deal's done, Jason, and I think Mike Brown deserved the raise.
Yeah, I mean, look, I did see some people wondering, like, has Mike Brown earned this? I would say yes, and I don't know what by missing the playoffs this year, did that decrease people's belief in Mike Brown? I mean, he was the coach of the year before. He helped return this team around, part of the resurgence. And the other part of it, I would just say, is if not Mike Brown, then who? Like,
right?
It doesn't mean there can't be another coach that can coach this team. But Dave, this team has a track record of being very bad at that.
Very bad.
I mean, there's two coaches that have ever had a winning season. Rick Adelman did it 8 for 8. Mike Brown's 2 for 2. Now, one of the years Brown did not make the playoffs. Yes, he gets that. And if the question leading into this, is he on the hot seat? I would say yes. I mean, it doesn't mean that's like, hey, if they're 1-3 to start the year, but I don't think there could be too many more years of missing playoffs for this team, if any. Like, I think he knows that, and he would want that. He wants the bar to be elevated and wants the expectations to be high for this team.
You got a plane.
I do, and trains and automobiles. Oh, you know what? It might be a chopper.
Might be a chopper.
Yeah,
I heard something. So.
Yeah.
Look, you're 100% right. And I think the thing with him is it's done great, extended, great. What I meant when I went to break with is Mike Brown on the hot seat. Let me I just want to present for a thought exercise. Everything's cool. But what if they miss the playoffs next year? So they got the play-in this year. For whatever reason, they missed the playoffs next year. Now, obviously, that depends. God forbid, I won't even say the names out loud, knock on wood, but if major cogs are hurt for extended, there's reasons. But let's say that's not the case. Let's say it's right around like what this year was. You had some injuries. Yeah, you blew some games. Yeah, but they don't make the playoffs. Is Mike Brown weirdly in a position where now that he got what he was looking for, this public sentiment turns on him if that's the way it goes next season?
Yeah, I think would start to turn on him. I think it would start to turn on Fox and Sabonis, Monte. I mean, I think it would be a collective. 1 year, I don't even say it's acceptable, but we already saw how it kind of felt like it turned on people this year.
Right.
And it wasn't a complete disaster. It wasn't what they wanted. And they would all say, they fell short. We all get that. But it's the response now. It's the next year. It's what did you do to improve the team? If there's belief that the team got a lot better this offseason, and without it even happening yet, we don't know what that looks like. But if there's a belief of that and they come up short of whatever those expectations are, oh yeah, there'll be some things being said out there. That's for sure.
It's very interesting how our expectations change. And, look, nobody's on the hot seat right now. Mike Brown is, now that's done for the year. Monty's not on the hot seat, but like Monty's on like a warmed up seat. I think when it comes to I feel like Monty is in exactly the same spot he was before the Sabonis trade, where everyone was like the whole meme where they're poking him with a stick, like do something. Like I feel like we're back to that now. Like the Sabonis trade just blew everyone away. You had the Herter trade in there, the Malik signing. You've had moves in the periphery, Keegan being added, but I feel like everybody's almost exactly where they were. You remember when we had Monty on, and it was shortly before the Sabonis trade, and he was like, hey, we're just waiting, we're looking, we're going to do something. It was a very rough, not a rough interview, but a very rough time for Monty and he was nice enough to come on and answer some questions. I feel like we're almost there now, except instead of having 14 years of playoff futility before the Sabonis trade where everybody was pissed, now at least there's some playoff and play in there. Monty's in a better spot, but people are impatient again.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't say they deserve this in a sense, because it's only been one winning season really, as far as one true successful taste of what the postseason could feel like. Last year was close to that. But look, the West has shown, Dave, that, we now have Dallas there. We had Minnesota in the conference finals. I think that was all but 3 teams have made the conference finals in the West in the last 12 years. The Kings, I think it's the Kings, the Pelicans, and the Jazz are the only teams that haven't done it. So it can turn. They can be a part of that group. And I think they're closer to that than the other way, but they got to make sure they're going forward and going in the right direction. And part of that was to keep Mike Brown. I think it would have been a step backwards had they not, for just multiple reasons. It would have felt more like that label that had been out there, rightfully so, Kangs, or, I saw when people were writing about the Kings, just be a normal team and sign your coach.
Right.
And, well, they did. They got there, and whatever normal means, maybe they're not always normal, but they're here. And you just didn't want that to be something that was in the way. And now it's not in the way. They've got a good coach. They know it. They now work with him and work with getting the roster better and the players better and start the jump, start going.
When we come